How's it going, everyone? I want to say welcome back if you've been following along, and welcome to anyone that may be new to the channel. My name is Brock, but I go by Thornrain on the internet. Hopefully I earned your like and subscribe with today's video, and let's get into it. So in this video, we are going to be upgrading the lights to the AC to DC conversion kit, which is going to give us LED lights for the headlight and the tail light. It was actually a simpler conversion than what I was expecting. We're also going to be adding a set of Govee underglow lights, LEDs. To do that, we just have to remove the box, and then we will take off the right side panel to route everything. Once your box is off and the right side panel is off, you can actually see a lot of the free space to where you can run your cables, making your install a lot easier. We actually took a lot of time after it was opened up to just kind of look and route how we wanted to move everything throughout the bike. Highly suggest taking that little bit of extra time to plan ahead. And here we're starting to get into the LED conversion. You're going to want to pull this little plug right here out. We had a little bit of trouble trying to figure out how to get it out. But it's actually not as difficult as we thought. You just wiggle it and pull it out. Initially we thought we had to unscrew it, but no, it just pulls out. So here we are looking at trying to figure out exactly where the connections go into. So the LED conversion has this clamp that you stick your wire for the conversion into and then clamp onto the new wire, and it makes the connection that way and ties the LED or the conversion kit into the power. So right here you can see there's two different sizes. You've got your pass-through and then the one with the cap. So you're going to take your purple wire and you're going to stick it down inside of the one that has the cap, which blocks it from going through. And then your open side, you're going to slide right over the top red wire. It's kind of hard to explain. It's the red wire on the opposite side of the little white piece on the front of this bracket at the very top. Once you get in there and you kind of look at it, you'll be able to tell exactly which one it is. But it's the red wire that's the opposite from the white bracket. So after you grab your pliers and you start to crimp it down, it takes a little bit of force. And this is where we start to plan on how the routing goes. We want to make sure that the grip is in the right orientation to make the way that we're running the wires a little bit easier. So after we get the orientation all set, we get the wire in, it's over top of the correct red wire, and you just take a pair of pliers and you crimp it down. It is a little bit of a pain initially, but after a few tries, you're able to kind of force it down and make that connection. This is where we actually see that it wasn't completely closed, so we had to open it back up and put a little bit more force into the clip just to get it to fully seat. It wasn't down enough to let the the top close properly. While they're easy to use because they're just jumping in, they're kind of a pain. So as you can see, we route it right behind the battery, and then we take it behind some other cables, down and around, and we're going to go right into that green section right there. As you can see, pulling off the guard. I'm going to unplug it. We're going to patch the purple wire that we just hooked up to the power, and we are going to connect it with the brown. So there's two little clips inside of this fitting. You got to get something. My dad had a tool. You can use a flathead screwdriver. You can get in there, come in from the top, press that tab, and then you should be able to pull the brown wire out. You just got to make sure that you land on the tab. It's kind of a pain because you got to pull and push at the same time. So once you get it out, you take your purple and plug it directly into the brown. Now, I've seen some people just leave it bare. We took some electrical tape, closed it up just to be safe. Not everything is, waterproof. So we wanted to make sure that we were completely safe and didn't short anything out. A little bit of electrical tape isn't too bad. And then you plug the connector back in and just roll up your protector and tuck your new connection in, and you are all hooked up. So now that the conversion is hooked up, we're going to do the headlight install. There's a couple screws and a bolt that you're going to want to loosen. So there's a total of 4 screws, 2 on each side, and then there's that bolt down on the bottom. The bolt on the bottom is a adjuster. So after you disconnect the 4 screws, it pulls out. You just unplug that connection, and then this whole thing right here, it's like a rubber boot, pulls up. You've got this kind of spring-loaded clip. Pop that up, and there's your bulb. Pull your bulb out. Take the new LED that comes with the conversion kit from Scooter Swap Shop. Now, there is a proper orientation. You just gotta make sure you pay attention. Big tab goes to the top. Lock it back in. Perfect, just straight hand shot. So put your rubber boot back on. Make sure that the top is facing the appropriate way, and then just pop it back on. Now, you might notice we get the whole thing on, and there's a problem. We forgot to plug it in. So make sure you plug it in. Your lights won't work if you don't do that. So once it's back in, it's as simple as just throwing your 4 screws back in, adjusting your light with that nut underneath, and then you are good to go with the headlight. Tail light was super simple. As soon as you take the seat off, it's visible. Turn it counterclockwise, and you can pop the bulb out. And the new bulb just twists right into the already existing housing. Again, we've got some orientation. Drop it in, press it down, turn it. You're good to go. Taillight, super simple. Here we're starting to untangle the lights and start the planning. What we came up with is we're going to do a set of lights on the front of the bike and a set of lights on the back of the bike. Now, the way that they hook up, there's two separate connections. So we're going to kind of route everything according to a set on the front, a set on the back. Here's just kind of terrible camera work scanning the bike. I'll get better. We're going to add a light inside of the box. We took a 1/2-inch drill bit, just put one small hole at the top of the box. You're able to force through a set of the lights, and I believe what we did here was one of the 8s inside. Here we're starting to continue with the routing of the lights. And this is us setting the plugs to the front and kind of laying out which way we're going to do this, because we're going to put 2 above the box. We're going to put 2 below the bottom of the bike, 2 behind the handlebars, and then 1 underneath of the forks. That'll all be on the front switches, along with the light in the box. And here we're routing the back set of switches right up underneath of the tail. There's a nice little rubber spot that you're able to run through over there. And then on the back, we're doing 1 on each side of the tail, 1 on down the center. And I'm sorry, actually 2 underneath of the bike were connected to the back. And then this is what it looks like. You got the 1 under the fork, above the box, across the tail. Down below, we've got the 2. And then we put 2 just behind where the forks are on the inside, along with tying them into the brakes so that when you hit the brakes, it'll change from whatever color to red. Just kind of adding that visibility. Couple quick shots of the light placement, 1 down the center of the tail, and then you're going to have 1 on either side of the tail. There's going to be 1 on either side of the box above them, 2 directly underneath the box on the street level, 1 above the front tire underneath of the fork bridge, and then 2 directly behind the forks on the back of the gas tank. It'll be down in the description below for the Govee lights and the conversion kit to have everything ready. And now the next big project for the bike, we're going to look at painting it. That'll be in a future video, and we're just going to close this one out with my ride home with my new lights and conversion kit all set up. Thanks again for stopping by. Have a great night, fantastic weekend, and get out there and ride. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. Intro music is from Kyle Wynn. His Bandcamp link will be down in the description below.